The top 10 most anticipated games of E3 2020. Kinda. We're on the eve of a new console generation, and yet the rollout has been surprisingly subdued. Normally, right now we'd be squirming in our seats waiting for the big E3 press conferences, but the pandemic has stolen that joy. Instead, it's been a trickle of information mixed with some dangling of the carrot, but that's all about to change. A multitude of events stretching into August have sprung up in E3's stead, and these are the products with enough mystery left behind them to keep us intrigued until summer's end. Number 10. Fable Playground Games. Microsoft's premier action RPG franchise has been MIA for the entire Xbox One generation. There was an attempt at a cooperative game, but it floundered, went free to play, and then went away for good. However, both official and unofficial teases have pointed towards a surprising revival from Forza Horizon developer Playground Games. It doesn't have much experience in the genre, but it's been doing a lot of poaching from big companies like EA and Rocksteady. Perhaps this mashup of talent can finally realize Peter Molyneux's original vision. Number 9. Halo Infinite. Even in a world where exclusivity matters less thanks to Game Pass and smart delivery, Microsoft is hitching the launch of Xbox Series X to Halo. 343 Studios has mentioned a new graphics engine, an open world, and a focus on Master Chief, but other than that, we're completely in the dark. It's been 3 years since it was announced, so we're due for a blowout and there's plenty left to learn. Halo 5 doesn't provide a ton of confidence, but Microsoft knows it has to be a hit. Desperate companies are often the best companies. Number 8. Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. When Microsoft bought Ninja Theory in 2018, we were worried that one of the industry's best independent developers would lose what made it so special. The studio also just released a bland online game called Bleeding Edge, which could compound the concerns. But Hellblade 2 is the sequel to one of the most unnerving games from Generation 8. Its intricate handling of mental health issues isn't in any danger, and with the full weight of Microsoft Studios behind it, we're confident it's going to break out over the next few months. The game's attempt at launching with Xbox Series X will be a saga worth watching. Number 7. Dragon Age 4. The Dragon Age franchise is generally polarizing. People either love it or hate it, and that can even vary game by game. Online bickering or not, it's a big seller for EA. Adding to the intrigue are the recent missteps at BioWare with Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem. The studio may only have one game left to redeem itself, so there's a lot riding on Dragon Age 4. We watched a teaser trailer in 2018, so there should be something substantive to share by now. There have been rumors of a reboot, and that's kind of what BioWare needs right now as well. Number 6. Elden Ring. The pairing of Dark Souls developer From Software and Game of Thrones writer George R.R. Martin is almost too good to be true, but it is, and we're due for some reveals over the summer months. Elden Ring has even deeper RPG elements than the Souls franchise, if you can believe it. The game will also have an open world, though From Software states it's different from what you might expect. The theme of the game is the will or ambition of mankind. As long as the developer's patented combat is included, we won't need much of either. Number 5. Starfield. If you ignore Fallout 76, and most people do, Bethesda Game Studios hasn't released a new game since 2015. The company teased its new space RPG, Starfield, in 2018, but said it was a next-generation game and that it was a long ways away. Well, we finally reached a long ways away, and the new console generation is on the brink. The studio is due to show something of value and remind us why we love its games. Or it could just announce an 8K version of Skyrim. Number 4. Horizon Zero Dawn 2. When Killzone developer Guerrilla Games surprised everyone with a new robo-dinosaur hunting RPG, we were shocked. We were even more surprised when it ended up being one of the defining games of its generation. Multiple leaks point towards not just a sequel being in development, but an entire trilogy. The second installment is reportedly a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and it includes cooperative play. We don't know when it's releasing, but it's been 3 years since the original, so the timing is perfect for it to be PlayStation 5's killer app at launch. Number 3. Cyberpunk 2077. It's been a long and winding road for CD Projekt Red's new action RPG. We've been following Cyberpunk 2077 closely since SIFTD launched back in 2015, and it's shaping up to be the last gigantic third-party game of this current generation. It's topped our prior lists over and over again, but at this point we've seen 2 hours of gameplay and we're just ready to play it. A massive event is happening for the game on June 11th, and that should be the last big blowout until it launches September 17th. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. The original Breath of the Wild is one of the best console launch games ever. It got the Switch off on the right foot and created momentum that is still sustained to this day. Nintendo's attempt at catching up to a decade-old design philosophy also finds new ways to approach the genre. It's one of the highest reviewed games ever, so its sequel is undoubtedly on our radar with a rocket. The promise of a return to some of Zelda's core tenets, like discrete dungeons, is an ocarina tune to our ears. We've only received a cryptic trailer so far, so just about any news is going to be big news. Number 1. PlayStation 5. It's time for all the Wired articles and technical talks with cardboard audiences to come to an end. All the theorizing over the capabilities of the PlayStation 5 is about to finally be over. Sony's promotional plan for its upcoming console has been curious up to this point, but it has a consumer electronics product to launch and it can't hide forever. We know the specs, we know about the new DualSense controller. We're still waiting for a look at the form factor, the price, and most importantly, the games. The recent Unreal Engine 5 demo is a nice tease, but time is starting to run out. This could end up being the summer of PlayStation 5. E3 2020 may not be a massive info dump that comes and goes in a few days, but with over half a dozen other events in its place, SIFTD.net is even more valuable to keep track of it all. All the demos, trailers, interviews, podcasts, and more can be easily filtered and sorted so you find exactly what you want. You won't find it anywhere else. SIFTD is 100% supported by viewer pledges. If you like what we're doing, head on over to patreon.com/SIFTD.